This is a video on an old school Benchmade 239. This was the Balisong that Benchmade came out with quite a while ago. I don't actually remember the year. I didn't get into Balisongs until maybe only a few years ago, so as far as my knowledge and on the history of Balisongs and when things were made, what's collectible, things of that nature, I'm not really too good at that. So if I make any mistakes on that information, I apologize. I usually try not to get too much into that for that reason. But this is, from what I know, this has been around a very long time. I don't know if it's one of the first ones that Benchmade produced. I'm pretty sure it precedes the 42. It's a steel-handled channel Balisong. The construction is actually pretty solid. Feels a little bit loose. It's not as tight as, say, a 42 or some of your more modern Balisongs, but it does feel solid. It doesn't feel like a Chinese knife where, you know, you just know the handles are just going to fall apart or break. This is a very solid built knife. The blade is very solid. The handles are definitely very solid. It's just the play is a little bit much. Can't really adjust that either. Just based on the just because of the nature of the design, but it's not too bad. Unfortunately, it does not have a latch case, so as you can see, this can happen very easily. The pattern is pretty cool. I like how they slotted out the bottom here to save some weight. It's actually it's got weight to it, but it's not super heavy. For a channel steel Balisong, it's very manageable. It's actually skeletonized enough where it feels all right. You can flip it all right. Handles are a little bit shorter. It's just a hair shorter than a 42. It's probably closer to a Kamara if I were to guess. Let's see. Yeah, it's about a Kamara's length. I usually like it to be a little bit longer than that, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. And as you can hear, this one's kind of squeaky, but I'm sure if you put a little oil in there, it'll be fine. They have the Weehawk style blade, a little bit different from a 42's grind, but not too far off. Let's see if I can get a better view on it here. It's not bad. Now, as far as how it flips, I was actually surprised. You know, usually a all stainless steel Balisong is kind of cumbersome, not very quick. You can certainly feel the weight. This was a bit of an exception because, like I said, they took out so much in the handles that they lightened it up quite a bit. Plus the fact that the handles are short make for it to not require as much energy to fling around. It still remains fairly nimble for an all steel knife. The action in the pivots is a little bit sloppy. Unless I'm making a big mistake here, I don't know if they even used washers, because I certainly can't see anything in there. Maybe for those of you who own this knife, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but this one in particular, I really, well, let me see here. There's a little bit of a gap here. Let's zoom in on this. I don't know. I don't see anything in there, so I don't think they used washers. I think if they'd done that, it would have reduced the play significantly. I'm just looking outside the camera here. It would have reduced the play, because it's a channel Balisong, you can't really tighten it, you know. So the only thing you can do, like as many people do with the Benchmade 482, is they put in bigger spacers, or excuse me, they put in bigger washers, and that takes up the gap because you can tighten it and it makes a little bit of a difference, but really the ultimate solution to that is to put in bigger washers. And this is, again, pin construction, so it never really gets as tight as something that uses torque screws. So that's probably my biggest complaint in flipping this, is just the action in the pivots is a little bit sloppy. But you can still flip it all right. You can still do everything you want to do manipulation-wise with the 239. I would actually go as far to say that it holds its own against the Kamara. Weight-wise, it's similar. The Kamara's action here in the pivots is definitely tighter, way tighter. So that gives it kind of an edge up. But as far as the balance and the handling, the 239 comes pretty close. Surprisingly, it comes very close. If this were a little bit tighter, I'd probably give this the edge simply because the shape of the handles is better geared towards flipping. It's a little bit wider and it's a little bit more rounded off. These are thin and squarish. And I just think the balance is a little bit better. But this area here in a Balisong, the pivots, that's critical. If it's sloppy, too tight, too loose, it really throws you off. It really makes a difference. When you have a nice, smooth, functioning system right here, it just makes for a much better flipping session. So pin construction, no washers, and non-adjustable doesn't really lend itself to that. So unfortunately, takes a bit of a step back. So, but these would be very close, I'd say, as far as flipping performance. I wouldn't say they're the same. They're very different in their nature and their characteristic in flipping. But if you were to say which one's better or worse, surprisingly, these two are close. And I'm just saying surprisingly because this is a newer, much newer, more modern Balisong, and this is very old school. This is like probably a couple decades old. And usually knives that I've seen that are that old don't hold up very well against the more modern models. That's just kind of a general rule. There's certainly exceptions. So that's the 239. You can actually get these on the secondary market. I see them come up once in a while, and they're not too expensive either. So if you just want a little bit of Benchmade history and you're looking for something just to have and toss around, it'd be a kind of cool piece in your collection. I would say to go for it. I don't know how much exactly they go for, but they're not nuts like the 42. Like the 42, you have to pay a premium, but these aren't too bad. You get them for a decent price. So that's 239. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks for watching.